Time now for our review of Star Wars Rebels. Yes, I know it's not a new series. It's been on Disney Plus for a quick minute. Originally, it aired on Disney XD. But to be honest, I never watched the season, the series start through finish. And I guess Ahsoka, which is supposed to be a sequel to Star Wars Rebels, I guess it inspired us to go back and rewatch all 4 seasons.
Yep. Pretty much.
But you already watched the series.
Yeah, I already watched it. Way back.
So overall, your opinion comparing Star Wars Rebels to Clone Wars to the other shows now on Disney Plus that are Star Wars themed, where would you put Rebels?
I would still say that Clone Wars is the best one.
Okay.
Rebels is up there. There's a few episodes where I just didn't care, but it's up compared to new things that they have nowadays. I would say top 3 would have to be Clone Wars, Andor, and then I'm going to have to throw Rebels.
Yeah.
That's my top 3, because the other ones I just don't care about, and the other ones are just mid or trash. There's actually the Mandalorians there.
Yep, Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are really good.
Yeah, 3 was a snooze fest.
Which we did review.
Yeah. But, yeah, overall, Rebels, it's, compared to, the newer shows that they release nowadays, it's pretty good. If you released this back in the day and none of the new Star Wars shows came out, this would be mid to down tier, until the last season. But I would say it's okay, compared to the other new Star Wars shows.
Yeah, I think that overall I have seen a few scenes or a couple key episodes over the years of Rebels. Mm-hmm. I never watched through it start to finish. But despite the changing of the guard, from George Lucas to Disney, mm-hmm. and going over to Disney, because this was what ended the Clone Wars, basically. Until they brought back the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that there was an obvious budget limitation for this show, because the animation's a little bit different. It gets better with seasons 2, 3, and 4, but the first season's definitely the worst.
You can definitely tell.
Yeah, but by the last season, it's improved.
Definitely about a lot, but you can still tell. Yeah. If you compare season 6 or 5 of Clone Wars to season 4 of Rebels, you can just tell there's a difference.
Yeah, there's absolutely a difference.
It's not trash, but it was way better before.
Yeah, I say it takes some getting used to if you were comfortable with the animation, the style of Clone Wars. Yeah. When you go from Clone Wars to Rebels, especially that first season.
Yeah, that first season, it's going to catch you off guard.
Yeah.
It's going to be what is this?
Yeah, but overall, I got to say this before we go into spoilers.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed Rebels, surprisingly. For the most part, I thought it was good. And that's a surprise to me, because I thought that I wouldn't enjoy it as much besides those key episodes or moments that I'd watched over the years. But it grew on me. Once you get past the first season, even the first season has some decent moments. It seems to get better and better of each season all the way to the end.
Yeah, it does get better. I always think the final season's the best one.
Yeah.
Just because it's basically a story arc, just that final season.
Yeah.
The whole...
It's shorter. We'll get to it in a little bit.
It's shorter, yeah. But, the other seasons... Let me just, say this. The other seasons are just, little adventures that you jump here and there. And then, maybe the final, 4 episodes is an arc.
Yeah.
But, you see, I like arcs. I just like that. So that's why I just prefer the 4th season in general, because it's just way better.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So, how would you rate the series overall?
7.
7?
A 7.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, that's just the best I can give it. Yeah. Obviously, the final season's the best. I would give the final season an 8. But yeah, if I have to go rating each season,
yeah,
I would say season 1 is 4.
Yeah.
Season 2 6.
Yeah.
Season 3 6 as well, and then I'll give it an 8 for season 4.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go into the spoilers. We'll try to get through this quickly, even though it's the entire series. We're not going to talk about every little thing that happens.
No.
Just, I guess, some of the main stuff of each season. But first off, the characters. The main characters include Ezra. You got Kanan. You have Zeb, Hera, Sabine, and of course the droid, Chopper.
Chop them up.
They make up Phoenix Squad.
Yeah, Phoenix Squadron.
Or what, Spectre at first, right?
Well, that's their code name,
Okay.
but they're basically called Phoenix.
Okay, Phoenix Squad, yeah. But over time, we get several cameos. We have other people that end up joining Phoenix Squad, like Captain Rex. He ends up joining.
Yeah, he ends up joining
Ahsoka does for a little bit, kind of, sort of.
for a season.
Yeah, and then we have Lando gets a cameo or two. We also have Princess Leia, Senator Organa, Mon Mothma, Wedge Antilles, R2 and C-3PO get a cameo.
Yeah, they get like 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think R2 gets like 2, and then C-3PO gets 1.
Yeah.
And then you get Yoda, you get Obi-Wan, you have Hondo back from Clone Wars, along with Bo-Katan. She's been in Clone Wars, Rebels, and she's also obviously in Season 2 and 3 Mandalorian.
Yep.
Played, of course, by Katie Sackhoff. Saul Guerrero, played by DeForest Whitaker. You know, he's back from Rogue One, as
Rogue
well
One.
as Andor. So obviously a lot of connections there between these various shows. So the first season, not the best.
No, it's extremely mid. Mm-hmm. It's just like your one-off episode adventures.
Yeah.
Where if you see them, you see them, but if you don't see them, like, you don't really miss anything. Like, maybe you get like a character cameo here and there, like Lando.
Yeah.
He just appears in one episode and you never see him again.
True.
And that's it. Like, it's the same thing with other characters. It's like you see them once and then you never see them again.
Yeah, and the first season mainly takes place on Lothal. And that's where a lot of the series is focused on, is the Lothal and the Lothal sector.
At least it's not Tatooine.
Yeah. And this is right before Ezra joins the crew.
Right.
He's just a thief, an orphan. He's just out there doing what he can to survive. He doesn't like the Empire either. But meanwhile, you have Kanan, Zeb, Hera, Sabine, Chopper. They're already together aboard the Ghost, which is the ship, well, one of the ships.
Right.
The big ship is the Ghost. The smaller ship is Phantom.
Yeah.
And so eventually Ezra becomes part of the crew. Kanan, who's a former Jedi, senses that the Force is strong.
In him.
And Ezra. So Kanan begins a master-apprentice bond.
Kind of deal. After Ezra keeps pushing him.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, please train me, please.
Yeah.
I need to know.
So that's kind of the arc in the first season, is Ezra starting to learn his Force powers, and eventually he gets a Kyber crystal and he constructs like a lightsaber blaster
stunner.
combo. Yeah.
It was kind of cool.
It was cool. And Kanan gets a little cameo in the first season of Bad Batch when he's just Caleb Dune, when he's still his master gets gunned down in Order 66.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of a cool cameo, because Bad Batch came out after Clone Wars, but in so many ways it's so weird. Like Clone Wars, and then Rebels, and then the last season of Clone Wars, and then Bad Batch. But that first episode of Bad Batch, you get a little cameo from a much younger Kanan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird how all this connects together. So they end up developing a really strong like master-apprentice relationship, and kind of a father-son thing, or maybe more like an older brother.
Right.
Yeah. But there's obviously a romance between Kanan and Hera. So
yeah, they're obviously attracted to each other.
Yeah, and Hera's basically the leader. She's the captain of the Ghost.
Yeah, and she's like the one commanding everything.
Yeah, and her father is like a leader on Ryloth, Cham Syndulla.
Yeah. Yeah, with someone in Clone Wars.
Yeah, he was in Clone Wars as well.
He was, I think, in like that one episode with Windu.
Yeah, he even mentions the battle that he was in with Windu.
Yeah. I think it was like the last episode of season 1 in like Clone Wars.
Yeah, so
I remember that when it first came out on TV, like back in 2009.
Yeah, back in the day.
Because they were like every single time it was like on Cartoon Network on the commercial, it appeared on every single commercial. I remember that shit was spammed.
Yeah.
Like, get ready for the season finale of Clone Wars. It's like, I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Hera. I mean, honestly, I like all the characters. I like Hera. You grow to respect her as a leader and as a pilot.
Right.
And then you have Zeb. Zeb is like the warrior, but they also kind of use him too much as a comic relief at times, and that I don't really care for as much.
Right. So I got a question.
Okay.
Which one would you say is your least favorite character?
At first, I didn't like Ezra as much, but I know people don't like Ezra overall, but over time, I think his character grew. I would say Chopper.
I would say Chopper.
Yeah, but there are moments even Chopper makes me laugh, because he's kind of an asshole, and I I kind of like that, but at the same time, sometimes he's too much of an ass.
Like a little asshole.
Well, I mean, I guess like especially in the first season or two, but then he becomes a little bit more likable later on. But I don't hate him.
Right.
But, Zeb, he's a Lasat.
He's Tank Dempsey.
Yeah. And
It's true.
At first they were going this whole like I'm the last of the Lasats, and I hate that cliche. I'm the last of my kind. But eventually, we find out that there's other Lasats out there, fortunately. So I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Sabine, I think Sabine's probably my favorite.
Sabine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they make her a little too... Well, at least in Rebels, they make her... I mean, she is flawed, okay? She is a flawed character, so she's not really a Mary Sue, but she's also really, really intelligent. And she left the military. She was in the Imperial Academy. She's a Mandalorian, but she invented some devices that ultimately get used against her own people. So she kind of has that conflict in the past and this abandonment issue from her family. But overall, I like her. She is a really good artist. She also likes to blow shit up. Plus, we have an older Sabine in Ahsoka now, live action. And so far, no explosions from Sabine yet.
Nope.
There better be before the end of the season of Ahsoka.
At least one scene.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Or the budget.
I don't know. Explosions are easy. But I think that's everybody that we mentioned on the main cast. So the first antagonist they go up against in season 1 is Agent Callous of the ISB.
Yep.
Along with the Grand Inquisitor under Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. And Grand Moff Tarkin. I think those are the three main antagonists.
Yeah, those are the three main. I think so.
Yeah. What are your opinions about them as antagonists?
Well, Grand Inquisitor, meh. You see him like every once in a while, like in 2 to 3 scenes. And he's just there. He has a bit of pressure, yes. But still, meh.
I like him better than the other Inquisitors. I mean, he's the Grand Inquisitor for a reason, obviously.
I know, but he even as a Grand Inquisitor, he didn't do much.
Yeah, it's sad because I think they wasted him.
His live-action version's better.
No, that's bullshit. The live-action version sucks. In Obi-Wan, nothing against the actor, but the actor's not as good as... I think it's Jason Isaacs that voices Grand Inquisitor in the first season. Let me look real quick. I think it is. I'm trying to remember all this off the top of my head, but he's a really good actor.
So what do you think it was, the writing?
Yeah, it was Jason Isaacs. But yeah, I don't know. I like this. I feel more intimidated by Rebels Grand Inquisitor, voiced by Jason Isaacs, than I did by Obi-Wan Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, which was a different actor.
I don't feel anything about either of them, live action or animated.
Yep.
Like he's just there for like a couple of scenes and then he just
dies.
Kapoos. Yeah, just goes.
I think that they should have kept him around a little bit longer.
All he has is like one big fight and that's it. And it's not even that long. It's like 15 minutes or 10.
Yeah, I feel like he was wasted. I like the character. I like, obviously, the voice acting. But I feel like they killed him off too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely should be like one of the antagonists in season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just there for like a couple scenes and you don't like meh.
Yeah.
He's just wasted kinda.
Yeah.
So, that's just me for Grand Inquisitor. Who was next? Tarkin. Tarkin is pretty good.
He gets some cameos. He's not really like a direct threat, but he's like at the first season he's like the highest ranked Imperial officer.
Right. And then Agent Callous is just like one of those guys who tries to capture them, but he keeps losing over and over. And he's just, even though he has a cool design, he kind of seems like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
At the end. So
that was my biggest issue with the first season of Rebels, is they really made the Empire out to be a joke in the first season.
Yeah.
They do a much better job in seasons 2, 3, and 4 of giving the Empire some wins and making them come across a lot more threatening.
Yeah, instead of incompetent.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I never really cared for in like Obi-Wan or even like Mandalorian at times, was they just make them pathetic. But that's what I loved about Andor. Well, one of the main things I loved about Andor is that the Empire felt scary. Like they were everywhere. They were oppressing your rights. And it was becoming more difficult to combat them. Or even if you didn't combat them, they would arrest you on BS charges and throw you in prison and work you to death.
Yeah, they did do that with like Andor, yeah.
Yeah, but to the credit of Dave Filoni and everyone behind Rebels, they did a better job in future seasons. But overall,
which is great. Yeah.
Overall, the first season of Rebels, meh.
Meh.
Weakest, easily, of the series.
Yes, if it's like a good first impression, like if it's like a first impression, like when it first came out,
Yeah.
and that's the whole season, it's like, I mean, really?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if people just gave up on it before the end of the first season, especially since this happened like after Disney acquired Lucasfilm.
Yeah, with Clone Wars.
Yeah, and it basically killed Clone Wars. And Clone Wars ended on a cliffhanger with Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order. And then you had those Lost episodes.
Yeah, the Lost Missions.
Yeah, appear on Netflix. And so a lot of Clone Wars fans were not happy because they wanted a conclusion to that story arc. And they do get it. We get it years later, fortunately. But I can understand why a lot of Star Wars, Clone Wars fans weren't happy.
Yeah, at least until season 7.
Yeah, until they decide, hey, maybe we ought to make things right with the Clone Wars fans and finish that story. So, but yeah, first season, you get past first season, there are moments. You find out who Fulcrum is.
Which is Ahsoka.
It was Ahsoka the whole time. So at least they do bring Ahsoka back.
But it does turn out that Fulcrum is more than one person.
Yeah, it is. But in the first season, Fulcrum
is Ahsoka.
is Ahsoka. So you do get to continue an older Ahsoka story.
She doesn't look that bad.
She looks okay.
Yeah, her design's cool.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing that looks pretty bad is the little glow stick lightsabers.
Yeah, a lot of the design they went for was because of the original art style for the first movie. And even though it didn't make it to the big screen, I think they just liked some of them, including the lightsabers.
They did fix it in the shot, though, with Ezra holding the lightsaber.
Final season. Yeah, they kind of tweaked it over the seasons.
Yeah, but the first two,
yeah,
those lightsabers look whack.
Yeah. But anyways, it does get better in season 2 because a much more looming threat finally shows up after the Grand Inquisitor has been dealt with.
Yep, Vader made out of Darth.
Yep, voiced by James Earl Jones.
There you go.
He gets a little cameo in the first episode because he dispatches the Grand Inquisitor. But after the Grand Inquisitor's game-ended himself, then Darth Vader decides to take matters into his own hands, along with some more lesser Inquisitors.
Right. This was a more Jedi Sith focused season.
Yeah.
Which is way better. Like if you like that whole stuff with lightsabers and Jedi and Sith, like
and the Force.
conflicts and Force stuff, instead of like rebels and blasters and all that shit. Like if you prefer like the more adventurous type with the Jedi and Sith, then this is definitely your season.
Yeah.
This is a good season if you enjoy that.
It was, and it also brought back several key characters. Like Rex, it brought back Wolf and what was
Gregor.
Gregor, Crazy Gregor. But like, Rex is the one who ends up taking center stage more or less. He officially joins.
So, what do you think of his design?
At first, I was like, but over time it grew on me.
So you prefer old Rex?
Well, yeah, it's because of the the cloning and stuff. Is their ages were accelerated. Unfortunately, that meant they get older faster, which sucks for them.
Yeah.
But, same voice actor, from the Clone Wars.
D. Bradley Baker or something.
And I think they did a good job of showing that even though Rex is older, he's still a badass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad they brought back Rex. And, of course, him and Ahsoka get a couple moments, and that's good.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka in Vader, that was an epic battle at that Sith temple on Malachor. And
I still think the whole episode should have been them fighting. And having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like, instead of having, like, Ezra, and then, Kanan, and then a few more, scenes with them. Like, the whole episode should have just been Ahsoka and Vader, and then just flashbacks.
Yeah.
And then just having more tension and more emotion put into that fight. And the score, just to make it, super good. If that would have been the season finale, it would be, the best finale out of anything ever made in Star Wars.
I agree. And that was really good because you have this whole story arc where they're trying to figure out who Darth Vader is.
Yeah.
And to Ahsoka's horror, through the Force and the help of Kanan, she finds out that
Vader is her master.
And Vader finds out that the apprentice lives.
Yep.
So it leads to a confrontation. You also get Maul reintroduced again because he's lurking around the Malachor as well, trying to find the ability to destroy the Sith because he wants revenge against Palpatine.
Yep.
And then the rest of the Inquisitors get wiped out at the temple.
Yeah,
so you never see any more Inquisitors and Rebels after this.
No, because Maul kills them all.
Yeah, Maul just shows how, he befriends Ezra the way he does.
Yeah,
is so cunning and manipulative.
Yeah, but at the same time, who wants to have something with him.
Yeah, he does have a bond with Ezra because he does see a dark side in Ezra. He does see potential for Ezra to be his apprentice, you know.
Yeah, even though he doesn't want to become a Sith.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Maul isn't a Sith either.
No, he's not. He no longer calls himself a Darth, you know. It's just Maul. But he's on the dark side of the Force.
Right.
That's where he's aligned.
Yeah, I mean, I still think his design looks good.
It's better than some of the other designs, you know, that carry over from Rebels from Clone Wars to Rebels. Like Hondo's design is awful.
Really?
It grew on me, but I prefer his Clone Wars design.
Yeah, his Clone Wars variation is better.
Yeah. But if you watch them side by side, you'd be like, ugh.
Yeah,
You kind of have to distance yourself a little bit.
Like, okay, how would you prefer? Do you prefer like Clone Wars Maul or Rebels Maul?
I prefer Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His look is way better.
Way better. But, well, like you said, the Rebels version looks fine. Sam Witwer also voices Maul once again, so.
And you got your legendary Kenobi.
Kenobi!
Would scream that shit.
And it's so weird because, like, the few times you actually hear the Emperor, like, in the early seasons, that's voiced by Sam Witwer. And then later on, in Season 4, they actually bring back Ian McDiarmid to voice the Emperor, so that was cool.
Okay.
Because, like, in Force Unleashed, Sam Witwer not only plays Starkiller, he also voices the Emperor. And it's not the first time he's voiced Palpatine because he has that unique ability to have that Emperor voice.
Okay.
So,
that's a cool fact.
Fun facts about Sam Witwer. Plus,
I didn't know that.
Plus, he was in the first season. He was in the first season of Battlestar Galactica. You know, another Battlestar actor carries over the star.
Who was he?
He was Crashdown.
Who?
Crashdown.
Don't remember him.
You don't remember? Okay. Well, I don't want to spoil anything from the first season of Battlestar, but him and Katie Sackhoff, two Star Wars.
Who's Katie Wu?
She's Bo-Katan.
No, but who is in Battlestar?
Starbuck.
Oh, I know who they. Okay, I know who they are now. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart. I haven't seen that in forever.
Actually, Crashdown was in the second season as well. They land on Kobol.
Okay, I know. I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's another awesome show worth checking out. Okay, so yeah, epic fight. It's an explosion. The Inquisitors are dead, and Maul escapes.
Yep.
Everyone escapes except for Ahsoka, and her fate is kind of a mystery.
Until the fourth season.
Yeah, until the fourth season. So a lot of people speculate at this point, like, was she dead? When we see her walking into this like temple at the end, we find out what that's about in season 4. But I'm gonna be honest, I kind of am on the fence about whether or not they should have killed off Ahsoka because of the whole Star Wars lore about. I know I've mentioned this before, how the most of the Jedi were supposed to be wiped out by A New Hope, and yet thanks to the Disney era and Dave Filoni,
There's like 20 left or something.
yeah, more Jedi keep popping up. But look, I like Cal Kestis also from Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, but that's another Jedi still out there.
Yeah, and you said your favorite Lasad is his master.
Yeah, his master. Yeah.
Over Seb.
Yeah, I like him way more. Like, I like Zeb, he's cool, but yeah, he's not the only Lasat in Star Wars. You also have Cal Kestis as master, and he was a freaking badass.
He was strong as hell.
Yeah, like he took down a shit ton of clones when Order 66 went down in order to save his apprentice, but that's a small Fallen Order spoiler. All right, so overall, your thoughts about season 2?
Better than season 1.
Yeah, definitely, easily better than season 1.
Yeah, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
and I like the whole Force kind of deal because it just makes things a lot more serious.
Yeah.
And I do like comic relief in Star Wars, but I don't like it when they overdo it, when it's like every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like more. I think it's just Star Wars is just supposed to be a lot more darker.
I agree.
It's no Marvel, where they can just pop jokes every 2 seconds. No, this is, I don't know. Star Wars is just a lot more darker, where you don't have to make jokes every single time.
True.
It's more serious, and I prefer more serious stuff when it comes to certain series. This is one of those where I just prefer seriousness over comic relief.
Yeah, I agree entirely. I mean, I get it. This was on Disney XD, which is mainly towards kids.
Yeah.
So they had to try and cater to adult Star Wars fans, but also the kids. So there's a lot of kid stuff that happens. It's definitely PG rated.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
And
have you noticed that sometimes, like, I don't know if you noticed, but you notice that sometimes when they cut down the clones with the lightsabers, they will still be breathing on the ground?
Yeah, during Rebels or the Stormtroopers?
Yeah, like they got struck down. They got, like, for example, there was this clone in season 4 or Stormtrooper that I think Ezra or Kanan, I forgot who it was, but he deflected a blaster bullet with a lightsaber, landed it on the head, and the dude was still breathing on the ground.
Maybe it was just like their nerves were still twitching or something. But there were plenty of situations throughout this series where they went out of their way not to kill Stormtroopers. They would stun them. They would disable their weapons. They would push them against a wall, knock them out. Where in most circumstances, like, you would just kill them and be done with it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there were times it went hard, where they actually did kill Stormtroopers and other characters. But you can tell that they had to, I think they had to limit themselves.
Because it was on Disney.
Yeah, because it was on Disney XD. Yeah. But, yeah, moving on to Season 3. Despite how good Season 2 was, I feel like Season 3 got even better because it introduced an antagonist a lot of Star Wars Expanded Universe Legend fans have been craving to see.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Man.
Yep.
Mr. Thrawn.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, he is a badass.
He is.
I just love how intimidating he is.
Yeah.
Because not only is he, like, crazy smart, but he also, like, studies their opponents. I mean, his opponents.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him such a likable villain, because he's respectable, but at the same time, he knows when to strike and not be he's not a coward.
No.
He's no Callous.
Callous is not a coward either. He fights too.
I know, but compared to, like, Thrawn.
Well, Thrawn's intelligence is at a whole other level than Callous. Callous is intelligence. Callous does become more intimidating in Season 2 before his redemption arc begins. I think it actually starts in Season 2, right? Or
yeah, because of the whole ice planet.
Yeah.
Moon.
Yeah, because him and Zeb are trapped on an ice planet just off of Geonosis, and they're forced to work together to survive.
I think that was Season 2 or 3. One or the
Yeah,
other.
it was probably Season 2, I think. Because it's before Thrawn shows up.
Yeah.
So it implies that there is some good in Callous, despite everything he's done up until this point.
Right. But
I've always been a big fan of Grand Admiral Thrawn. The first time I was introduced to him, and a lot of things that are brought into Rebels, I was introduced to in an old game called Star Wars TIE Fighter, which was part of the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter series back in the day.
Is he there?
Yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn's introduced. Well, in Expanded Universe, he starts off as a Vice Admiral. Then he becomes an Admiral, then a Grand Admiral. The TIE Defender is also introduced to me in TIE Fighter, along with the Interdictor. And all those end up in Star Wars Rebels. So I feel like Dave Filoni must have been a TIE Fighter fan as well. But, yeah, I thought Season 3 was great. And Governor Price is finally introduced. I think she gets mentioned a few times in previous seasons.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess, what was it, the Crystal Skull clone?
Yeah, she looks like the character from the Crystal Skull, the villain.
By Kate Blanchett?
Yeah.
Except for she doesn't have a Russian accent, she has an English accent.
Yep.
But I think Kate Blanchett is English, I believe, but voiced by somebody else, clearly. But obviously her character resembles the villain from Crystal Skull.
Yeah, she looks very similar.
Yeah. So what is your opinion about Governor Price?
She's a woman.
Besides that, it's obvious she's a woman.
I don't know.
She's not a very good villain, not a very good antagonist.
She's just mid.
She's your tip box standard Imperial. She's not stupid, but she's nowhere near as bright as Callous.
Callous was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say about her. She just doesn't do anything.
She's just there as basically the number 2 to Thrawn.
Yeah, but she doesn't do anything. It's like all she does is send people, hey, get this for me, or get them for me, or do this for me. It's like everything's do this for me. At least Callous put himself into fighting.
That's true.
But she was afraid of everything, and she was even afraid of Thrawn, and
of course because Thrawn outranked her.
She was just afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Until the very end.
Yeah. And also introduced is Bendu. The Bendu was introduced.
Mr. Bendu.
Yeah, voiced by the legendary Tom Baker, the 4th Doctor.
Yeah.
And I actually like the Bendu. I like the idea of something being in the middle of the Force. Mm-hmm. Like you have the light, and then you have the dark side, but then you have the Bendu, which is the middle, a little bit of the light, a little bit of the dark, right. Which I think where most people reside. And I thought Tom Baker did a great job voicing the Bendu. And let's see, what else happened in season 3?
The rebels finally have their new base.
Yep, and that's where that's where Kanan and Ezra run into the Bindus on the new base.
Yeah, and they meet those spider things.
Yeah, the spiders. And yeah, this is where you have the one-up mission between Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Rebellion, and every little victory the Rebellion is getting is leading to ultimate disaster.
Yeah. This is where things start getting good at the beginning, but end up terribly in the end.
Yeah, for the Rebellion.
Yeah.
And it's also Callous'S Redemption Arc that's beginning.
Yeah.
And I like, at first, I already knew that Callous was going to end up on the side of the Rebellion because of watching previous key episodes over the years. But at the time, I never really understood how he got from being an Imperial agent of the ISB to in the Alliance. Mm-hmm. But I'll give credit where credit is due. I feel like they did a good job with his redemption.
I just feel like they did it just because he slowly but surely, he didn't feel as important to the Empire. Plus, at the same time, the arrival of Thrawn didn't help.
I think that what ends up happening is the same thing with a lot of Imperials. They start off on the side of the Empire because they feel like they're bringing order to the galaxy at the end of the Clone Wars, where so many died and there's so much destruction between the droid army under the Separatists and the corrupt Republic, and they felt like they were doing good in their own way. Mm-hmm. Might makes right. But over time, the actions of the Rebellion caused even some like Callous to start to realize that, hey, we're going too far. I'm going too far. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? We're only making things worse, not better.
Yep.
So I think that's what it shows, is that even those within the Empire are capable of finding good within themselves and having their own redemption, including Callous, because he starts off not very nice.
Yeah, no, he was an asshole, kind of.
Yeah, so I think the redemption arc worked really good for Callous.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't rush it. They paced it out over time, and
yeah, that's actually a good thing. Yeah, they didn't do it in a whole season. If he already became good in season 1.
Yeah.
If they did it in episode 1 where he's a villain, and then at the end of season 1 he's a hero already.
Yeah, that would have been
rushed. Too soon.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have felt deserved or earned.
Yeah, so I feel like they did a good job. At least they took a few seasons,
Yeah, but you're right though. With Grand Admiral Thrawn there as the big antagonist, going forward for the rest of the series, mm-hmm. with his ability to be so strategic and look at an enemy's art and culture and understand his foes and plan several steps ahead of them, like some 4D chess. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a way more intimidating adversary
than Callous.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, season 3 ends really badly for the Rebel Alliance. Oh, yeah, there was also a time jump between 2 and 3 because Ezra and Sabine are a little bit older. And Kanan got blinded by Maul.
Yeah.
At the temple. I forgot to mention that. So he's now blind.
Yep, as you see in the shot right here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, then Ezra gets his haircut, which you don't like.
I hate his haircut. I really do. Yeah. He looks so bland. I mean, I get it. It's a normal military haircut.
Yeah.
But I just don't like it. And Kanan, in my opinion, looks better.
You like him better with the beard?
Yeah, he looks way better with the beard. And I don't like his little helmet thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of not really necessary because you're already blind.
I know that's kind of the whole deal.
Yeah.
How blind people wear glasses.
True.
Or helmets or stuff.
Yeah.
It's still for example, Daredevil.
True.
He doesn't need to put anything, but he still put on his mask.
Well, it's to disguise himself because he's still Matt Murdock in real life.
Right, but basically, Kanan looks better in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think his outfit changed as well.
Yeah, it did.
And it looked way better too.
I agree.
He just looks way better. And the only one I found a downfall was Ezra. The scarves look fine, but he needed that haircut.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they would have shortened it a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it would have been way better. His lightsaber also changed.
Yeah, he actually gets a normal lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's weird because they never really explain. I guess because of the time jump, they never really explain how his lightsaber went from blue to green because I think it's based off the color of the Kyber crystal.
Well, he got another one.
I guess he got another one.
There you go.
I'll go get another one.
Just like that. You can find them in every corner store.
Yeah, and now it's the same lightsaber that Sabine is using in Ahsoka. So,
yep.
Yeah. But yeah, season 3. I thought season 3 overall was good. Maybe at the same level as season 2.
Maybe like 1 point higher.
A little.
Like I'll give like season 1 4, season 2 5, and then 6. This one.
The Mandalorian stuff I loved in season 3. Like the whole Sabine, like that one episode with Sabine where they get the Darksaber back from Maul, and Kanan's training her how to use it.
Wasn't that season 4?
No, that's season 3. That's near the end of season 3, I think.
Oh.
Because it carries over to season 4.
Okay.
Because on season 4, they start off on Mandalore already.
Yeah, that episode, yeah.
So this is before that. So one of the things is, Maul's been trying to use Ezra in order to find Kenobi. Mm-hmm. And eventually, of course, Maul ends up making his way to Tatooine in season 4.
Yeah, because they also, like in season 2, they got the Sith holocron.
Yeah, the Sith holocron with the Jedi holocron. Yeah.
And Kanan already had them, and if you combine them together, you can get like a question, and then you can get any answer you want.
Yep.
And that's what they did. So Maul obviously wanted Kenobi.
Yeah.
And Ezra wanted to destroy the Sith.
Yeah.
And turns out like the answer is the same person.
Yeah, the answer can be found on Tatooine. Well, a planet with 2 suns. That was the
twin suns. Yeah.
But most of us automatically know what that is. So.
Yep. Back to Tatooine, the most known planet ever.
But with Sabine, I feel like one of the strongest episodes was that training episode, where Kanan and Ezra both trying to teach her how to use the lightsaber, and you had that one other Mandalorian they made friends with that was once a protector. I forgot what the Mandalorian's name was, but
Rao.
Rao. And, she's struggling, right? Mm-hmm. But then eventually you see this character develop and you find out more about her, about why, she is struggling, because she feels like a traitor. She feels like she betrayed her family. And
her clan.
Yeah. And part of her doesn't want to go back and face that. But then once she realizes she has to, and she starts getting better with the Darksaber, then I felt like that those moments with Sabine in that episode just really slapped and really, really, really hit hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's more serious.
Yeah, it was. And there were definitely serious moments in Rebels that I really enjoyed when you stopped having the stupid little jokes here and there.
Yeah.
Just to appeal to the kids. Or the adults that act like kids. But overall, yeah. You know what? I changed my mind. Because that was probably one of my favorite episodes. I'm going to put that right above season 2.
Damn.
I forgot what the name of the episode was, but it was... I don't know why. I liked that episode. But there were definitely episodes I enjoyed. So now we get to the final stretch, your favorite season, the final season, which is, you know what? If more series did this, save the best season for last, most shows would end on a high note.
Yeah.
Just like Rebels.
But
so, season 4.
Yeah, this is like freeing lothal arc.
Well, and Mandalore.
Yeah. And yeah, I like the start of the season. I mean, the start of the season is basically saving Mandalore.
Yep.
And I will say one thing about the first arc is that I love the score at the end.
Yeah.
Where at the end of the episode, you think that Sabine thinks that her mother and Tristan died because of the thing she created.
Yeah, the Duchess, which was this weapon they put on top of a walker, which can turn Beskar armor into...
Yeah.
And basically, the Beskar armor ends up getting heated up to like an extreme heat.
Yeah.
And it turns anyone wearing the Beskar armor into ash.
Yeah, the armor's fine. It's just that it gets so overheated that your body melts.
Yeah.
So it's like you falling in lava.
But here's one thing that the Duchess couldn't stop. Plot armor.
Oof.
Which is the armor that her mom and brother were wearing.
Right. There was one thing that people were saying in the comments that with the music, because the music hits hard.
It does.
Once it finishes the episode.
Yeah.
One thing that people were saying that I found out is that her brother should have barely lived. Like he should be like struggling.
Yeah.
But her mother should have died.
I agree.
And like
especially right after saving her father, because they saved her father,
right.
Voiced by Shang Tsung.
Yep. Your soul is mine.
Yeah.
I knew his voice sounded familiar. The moment I heard that, I said, isn't that Shang Tsung?
And for the record, they had a lot of great voice actors and voice actresses in this series.
Yeah, but after that, like, rescuing Tristan, and, like, he's barely alive, and her mother should have died.
I agree.
And that would have made the episode, like, 10 times harder, and it would have hit harder.
Yeah. Because you had all the other, like, Mandalorians that were with the mother and son.
Yeah, they all got
died.
melted.
They were incinerated.
Yep.
But those two survive.
Yeah, one of them should have died.
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah, it would have made the emotion hit harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, because if you go to it like from Disney Plus, where you can just watch it back to back, it just like you hit the music and then you can just go back. Oh, they're fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's like.
So it just kind of ruins the
moment.
this moment and the score.
Yeah.
Like if you were like when it first came out live and you had to wait, it would have definitely felt more sad. But now when you can just watch it back to back, it just kind of loses that emotion.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I think that if it wasn't a quote catered towards kids as well as adults,
if it was like Clone Wars era,
I think they would have. I think they probably would have sacrificed the mom. It would have because it would have hit so much harder.
Yeah.
But ultimately, sadly, if you think about it, it's all in vain anyways because of what happens. What we know about that transpires in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because we know that despite everything that Sabine does to destroy the Duchess and unite all the clans under Bo-Katan the first time with the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Shortly after, Empire shows up with Moff Gideon, bombs the hell out of Mandalore, and he takes the Darksaber for himself.
Yeah, in Mandalorian.
Yeah, and wipes out most of the Mandalorians and sends them scattered across the galaxy.
Yep.
So, it feels kind of pointless.
Yeah, but if you watch it when it first came out.
Yeah, it's cool, but it becomes pointless once you have all this additional story added things to Mandalorian.
Right. But yeah, then after that...
Sabine rejoins... Sabine, Kanan, Ezra, and Chopper rejoin Zeb and Hera over at Yavin Base.
Yeah, they go to Yavin now.
Now they're at Yavin.
Because they had to flee their base.
Because Thrawn eventually found them.
Oh yeah, and no more Captain Sato, Commander.
Yeah, Captain Sato went down like a Chad, sacrificing the... Oh, we forgot the carrier ship that they captured. But he ultimately used it to
ram the Empire.
Yeah, destroy the interdictor.
Yeah.
So now they're on Yavin.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Mom Mothma appears.
Yeah, and so
she appeared like 2 seasons ago. But
yeah, she does.
But yeah, I mean, she appears and basically, she's
the same voice actress, by the way.
She's Moira.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Moira, and she also plays Mon Mothma in Rogue One. She plays Mon Mothma in Andor, and she also played Mon Mothma in a deleted scene in Episode 3.
And she's Moira.
And yes, she's also Moira in Overwatch. Yes. Of course.
That's way better.
Wow.
It is. She's Moira.
Yeah. And then I love this conflict between her and Saw Gerrera because Saw Gerrera is also in the Rebel Alliance, but he's a more extremist. Him and the partisans. Like, they're getting results, the partisans, whereas the rebellion is struggling. The rest of the rebellion is struggling. And the reason why he's getting results is because he's basically just using the same tactics as the Empire to win.
Right.
Which, yeah, it gets results, but at the same time, you're basically becoming no better.
Yeah.
So I do love the whole, I guess the moral gray area where, yeah, he is actually accomplishing things, but it's the way he's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he had no problem in that one episode sacrificing people.
Yeah.
Just to, get his mission, get the credit and leave, and he didn't care about the people. Just leave him there.
No, because, he's lost everything. He lost his sister in the Clone Wars. He lost his home world in the Clone Wars. And all he has left him is anger. He hates the Empire. He wants to destroy the Empire. He's willing to do whatever it takes,
Mm-hmm. Until he
goes
down like a Chad. I mean, not like a Chad in Rogue One, but still.
Well, he does kind of go down. He goes down as a hero. He gives Jyn Erso and Rogue One what they need in order to go and save her father.
Save the rebellion.
Save the dream.
Save the dream. It's the way he said it. It just makes me laugh every single time. I can't take him seriously.
For the record, I like DeForest Whitaker, okay? I like how it all connects from Clone Wars to Andor to Rebels and to, of course, Rogue One.
Right.
Yeah, I like how these things connect. And I'll give them credit. For the most part, they do an okay job connecting some of this stuff. Not everything. Especially like the sequel crap. But, yeah, so this is where the big arc happens. They're going back to Lothal. They're going to try and liberate Lothal.
Right. Yeah, and you meet Bendu Mark II.
Oh, yeah, the Loth Wolves, because in the first few seasons, we're introduced to the Loth Cats. And, of course, the Loth Cat's in Ahsoka as well. But I think the Loth Cat looks way better in Ahsoka.
Do you think?
I do.
Yeah. You're a weirdo.
I know.
But and also, GB, you're not getting one.
Come on.
He wants I don't know why, but every single time he sees the love wolf, he just tells me that he wants one.
It's just a little guy.
Just like how he sees a king cobra on his phone, and he's like, I want one.
Why not?
You can... Okay, no. A king cobra and a love wolf. We're dead. We're doomed.
Look, king cobras are the most intelligent snake on the planet.
GB's turning this freaking house into a zoo.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No.
What's next? What's the next cute creature that you're gonna find?
I've been watching some snake videos, some rattlesnake videos, because we live in rattlesnake. Well, one of many parts of the country that has a lot of rattlesnakes. So I wanted to learn a lot more about them. So shameless plug for
Next,
rattlesnake.
he's gonna want a Seb.
No,
He's gonna want another cute creature. Just wait until he finds it.
I'm good, thank you. I'm content with my cat and my dog, though, to be honest. But, anyways, back on topic. Shameless plug for Rattlesnake Solutions, by the way, great channel. If you want to learn more about rattlesnakes. Anyways, so lothal, things have gotten way worse under Thrawn and Governor Price.
Like when you see them arrive from hyperspace, you see like some areas like covered in fire.
Yeah, fire and smoke and ash. Yeah.
A huge blockade.
Yeah, and Governor Ryder, which was the former governor, voiced by Clancy Brown, the legend.
Yep, he appears in Ahsoka as well.
Yeah, he does. He's the governor again. Of course he would be governor again. So, yeah, Ryder is an important character that's introduced in Rebels a couple seasons prior, but he's now the leader of the resistance on Lothal.
Yep. What's
left of it. And so it does show how much more desperate things get for the Phoenix
Squad, yeah.
Because the Rebel Alliance has suffered a major defeat. They lost their other base. They've had to regroup at Yavin. And they're not willing to send help to Lothal because of the blockade. Because so many Star Destroyers and cruisers and TIE fighters.
Yep.
And what are they doing? Well, what are some things they're doing on Lothal?
Well,
besides oppressing the population and scrapping the planet for resources.
Right. Well, one thing they're doing is they're working for a TIE Defender program.
Yep. A TIE Defender.
Yeah. So that's very, very dangerous.
Yep.
Because it has shields, and I think it has a hyperdrive.
It does, and it's the most dangerous, starfighter in the galaxy.
Right. They have a shit ton of fuel.
Yeah.
And resources there.
Yeah.
What else are they doing?
No, well, the Emperor has a special project that they find out about as well that's happening.
Yeah.
One of his henchmen, I think Hayden.
Hayden, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the voice actor's name, but I like the voice actor of Hayden.
But yeah, basically it's like a...
It's at the old the Jedi Temple Kanan and Ezra run into.
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah.
But basically there's this painting of the daughter and the son and the father, basically from Clone Wars.
Yep.
And, which, great reference.
Yes, it is.
And basically it's a portal to time and, between time, the world of realms.
The world between worlds.
Yeah, it's time and space itself.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which is where, I don't want to say Ahsoka is.
Well, we can because, like that's where Ezra finds her.
Okay, well, that's where Ahsoka is.
Yeah, well, he finds her in the world between worlds, like in the battle between her and Vader.
Yeah, which apparently Vader falls through a hole or something.
Yeah. And
how is he alive after that?
Well, he has his body armor on, and it's Vader.
So. I know, but his face was still exposed.
Yeah, but, he's been worse. But, so Ahsoka is saved by Ezra, because she would have originally died on Malachor.
Yeah.
Either Vader was about to chop her down, or the explosion itself
would have killed her.
Yeah, so...
What makes you wonder, if she died by the explosion, why doesn't Vader die from it?
Because he fell through.
But the explosion doesn't happen on down?
No, it happened at the top. Remember at the top of the temples where all the shit was happening.
Oh.
Yeah, the device that was going to wipe out everybody or whatever. That was back in season 2.
Yep.
I know we're not including everything.
We're going all over the place.
Yeah, we're all over the place here. But Ahsoka gets saved, so yay. Look, look, for the record, I like Ahsoka. I've mentioned that in my Clone War review, but I feel like there had to come a point where she had to be sacrificed because of the original trilogy. Because there was only supposed to be a handful of Jedi left, and Luke was supposed to be the last Jedi after Obi-Wan and Yoda became one with the Force. It's hard to say he's the last Jedi when you still have Ahsoka around, when you still, at the moment, have Cal Kestis. I mean, there's a possibility he may not be around before the original trilogy starts.
Right.
But they do deal with Kanan, so yeah.
Yay.
Kanan gets sacrificed, and I like the way they do it. I don't like the fact he decided to get a haircut before.
Yeah, and a beard cut.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just kept the beard.
He looks so weird.
I don't know why they bother with that, because that was a budget thing, too. Because that cost him money for them to change his look. So why not just leave him with the beard? They could save some money there.
Because Hera would have felt like, oh my god, Hera.
Okay, yeah. So Hera manages to escape in a U-wing with a TIE Defender hyperdrive, and like the intel on the TIE Defender. She takes it back to Yavin, and she convinces
Mon
Mothma and Bail Organa to give her a squadron of Y-wings and X-wings to go bomb the TIE Defender factory.
Yep.
But that doesn't go so well.
Nope. I mean, they do really well in the blockade.
Yeah.
It's just once they get to the actual airspace of lothal.
Yeah, they're just heavily outnumbered by TIE fighters.
There's like 20 or 30 TIE fighters in front of them, and they just got all shut down.
Yeah, no matter how good of a pilot she and a few others are, they're just...
Yeah.
That's
like a top 500 player against like 30 noobs.
Yeah.
One's going to get you.
You know what's weird is that, she did fly the B-Wing past few seasons in one episode, and yet she had no B-Wings with her.
I mean, she was flying the X-Wing, though.
I know, but, I mean, they introduced the B-Wing, in one episode.
I forgot.
Yeah, I know, but why didn't they bring at least one B-Wing or two B-Wings to help with the fight? But I guess the B-Wings are just very, very rare.
They're very rare and stuff.
Yeah, so
there you go.
They can only spare X-Wings and Y-Wings.
There you go.
And I think only like 3 or 4 pilots survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mart survives, which is Sato's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was in.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot about that fact.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, because he becomes a rebel pilot after.
After
Yeah, after what, Iron Squadron.
Yeah. Which we never see them again, by the way. I think
we never see. I'm guessing his 2 friends end up joining the rebellion as well.
they're somewhere.
They're somewhere. If you don't see them die on screen, then they're not technically dead.
Yeah.
But
use later, maybe.
Yeah, but they escape. But Hera does ultimately get captured by Rook. Oh, we forgot to mention Rook. So the villains were basically almost the same in season 4. You still had Grand Admiral Thrawn and Governor Price. Rook was introduced, which was an assassin.
Yep.
And I think if I could be wrong about this, but I think that Rook was also in the expanded universe and is the one who kills Admiral Thrawn in the expanded universe. Once again,
I don't remember because I never read it.
I could be. I didn't read it all, but I think I remember from Heir to the Empire that it was Rook or somebody similar to Rook that ultimately kills Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Legends, which is no longer canon. And then we have another villain that plays a key role in the final episodes.
Who? Oh, Mr. Palpatine.
The Emperor himself.
Yeah, I forgot about him. He only appears like twice, and he is, threatening because it's the Emperor.
Yeah, it is the Emperor.
And he's pretty powerful, because he appears like in the World Between Worlds.
Yeah.
He appears there, and he appears at the very end.
Yeah.
And like at the very end, I prefer that appearance because in there he, tries to disguise himself like an old man.
See, that's the part that doesn't make sense, right? Because in an earlier season, you see an image of like Palpatine looking normal with 2 Imperial soldiers and what appears to be the Senate, which is obvious. I like the idea where, like, in the newscasts across the galaxy, they would make Palpatine look like a friendly old man that actually cares about the galaxy, not this shriveled up monster under a hood. Mm-hmm. So I would get that they would have like a little censorship and a little propaganda there. But it is ruined when Palpatine, is trying to get to Ezra and Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds with Sith magic.
Something that always surprised me a lot. I think about it.
What?
If Palpatine looked like that in Episode 3, where he just, after the battle and everything, why didn't he force heal himself?
Because he has the dark side. The dark side doesn't heal; it destroys.
Oh. He doesn't have force heal?
No. Well, no, you can't have force heal. It's a light side ability.
Can you have like everything like?
Well, I mean, if you're a Grey Jedi or the Bendu, I guess you could. But I mean, I guess you got to spend some time in a Bacta tank. I don't know.
Something, I mean.
But, I mean, Mace Windu, reflected that lightning back on him pretty hard,
Yeah.
I always felt like that was, like, his friendly face was just a mask anyways. And that his true face was that shriveled up evil face.
I love his eyes. Like, once...
his Sith eyes,
The Sith eyes, like, he didn't have that, but, like, once he gets shocked, he has them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. My theory was always that the face that you saw in public when he was Senator Palpatine and Chancellor Palpatine, it was a disguise. Because he was so, like, into the dark side. Like, he was, like, one of the most powerful Dark Force users of ever in Sith history. And it just took a toll on his face. And he had the ability to disguise himself to everybody. But the electricity kind of revealed his true face.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the case canonically. I think it's just the lightning scarred him.
So why does that happen? How come the Sith always look ugly?
Because the dark side's destructive. It gives you all this evil power, but it also damages you physically.
Oh, so is that why, like, Anakin looks ugly, like, at the end, or...
Well,
because all he has, like... Anakin looks the same. All he has is the Sith eyes. Until he gets burned.
Well, yeah. I mean, over time, it would have taken its toll on Anakin.
Because...
I mean, he just turned to the dark side right then, and, not too long before he ends up on Mustafar.
So if nothing happened to him, like 5 years down the road...
I think over time, you would have seen, like, a more twisted version of Anakin, the dark side. He would have probably looked all evil looking and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe some gray hair.
Like an emo dude.
I don't know, but the dark... Like, it has happened to other Sith... in expanded universe, and I think in video games, and maybe even some other like canonical content, where the dark side does physically deform you to some extent.
Okay.
Yeah, but it can also keep you alive, just like with Darth Maul, just like with Reva.
Right. Somehow.
Even if you get stabbed when you're a child, and then you get stabbed again.
I guess it's the hatred keeps them alive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something.
Anyway, so where were we? Oh yeah. So Hera gets captured by Governor Price, and Thrawn is called away to the Emperor because the other program that's being worked on in secret that Saul's trying to track down, that he's become obsessed with, ultimately turns out to be the Death Star program.
Yeah, which in season 3 they do have this mission where,
yeah,
or I don't know if it's season 3 or season 4. I think it's like the 4. Okay, well, they were sent out to basically destroy, like, a kyber crystal.
Yeah.
They were going to take it, but I think...
Yeah, he wasn't originally going to take it, but they decided to destroy it instead because they just couldn't get it off the ship.
And it's basically a nuke.
Well, that's what the weapon of the Death Star is made out of, kyber crystals.
Yeah, basically, like, sending, like, 40 nukes to a planet and boom.
Yeah, that's how powerful a kyber crystal is.
So, basically, once it gets unstable...
It
yeah,
up.
So... You can see, like, a mini nuke going out in that episode.
Well, yeah, because not only did it destroy the cargo ship, it also destroyed that Star Destroyer.
Yep.
That got too close to it.
Yeah, it just got cut up in the blast.
Yeah.
And hell, even, like, they were in, like, a Lambda shuttle.
Yeah.
I think it was the name of that ship.
Yeah, the Lambda shuttle, yeah.
And, yeah, even this got still caught in the blast, and they were pretty far away.
Yeah, they were trying to get as far away from it as possible. Yeah.
They were quite the distance, and they still got caught in the blast. I think it got, like, EMP'd or something.
Yeah.
But... yeah, that was actually kind of cool. It just shows you, it's just one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm pretty sure, like, the Death Star doesn't have one. I'm pretty sure it's, like, a couple of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you combine all of that, I guess the depth of the Death Star actually makes sense of how huge it is.
Exactly.
In the actual,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, movie. I don't know how many kyber crystals would make up just one of the... Because there was 3 beams that formed one beam. 3 mini beams.
No, I'm pretty sure there's more.
No, I think the first Death Star had 3 beams that would form one major beam that would go out and destroy Alderaan. I think so.
I think there's more than 3. I think it's like 5. See, I told you.
Oh yeah, okay, I was wrong.
Ooh, see, I know about these facts. I'm way better. God damn, see?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 8.
I told you.
Okay, so I was wrong. I don't know why I thought it was 3. Maybe I'm thinking of a stupid Star Killer base.
It's because I'm a more Star Wars nerd than GB, and
right.
I know all my facts.
That's why you never win Star Wars Trivial Pursuit against me. Anyway, so she was right about this. There are multiple beams that make up the major beam that destroys Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of those beams has to be powered by one of those...
kyber crystals, yeah, each one. So there's like 8 kyber crystals.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going by the original trilogy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting at least 8 mini beams going into one major beam.
Right.
We'll just say like 8 or 9.
So there's like 8 kyber crystals in there, and with 8 kyber crystals being, unstable, if one is a nuke, you can pretty much combine all 8, and you can see where the Death Star blows up so big.
Exactly, why it's able to easily blow up a planet. But yeah, so Thrawn has to go back to Coruscant. I mean, we never see any of this.
No, this is off screen.
Yeah, because he has to make his case to the Emperor why money should be put towards the TIE Defender program instead of Krennic's little project, which is a big project, the Death Star. Obviously, Krennic's project wins the day because you never see any TIE Defenders in...
Well, it's thanks to Governor Price.
Yeah, so Hera gets captured, tortured by Governor Price. Thrawn has a little moment with Hera before he leaves. He has her Callicrico or that...
Kamamori?
Yeah, the Kamamori, which is a Twi'lek heirloom that's passed on.
The thing.
Yeah, the thing. And because he likes to steal and collect art from other cultures. And so Kanan and Ezra Sabine launch a daring rescue of Hera. And Kanan basically has a visit with the Lothals. And I think it basically implies that it's a one-way trip for Kanan.
Yeah. This is also where he also gets his haircut and his beard shot.
Yeah, it doesn't look so good.
It doesn't look that good.
No.
He looks younger, but at the same time, he doesn't look that good. He looks like a crazy teen going through. It's just a phase, Mom. He looks like that.
Basically. So he ends up rescuing Hera. They nearly escape, but they end up on top of the fuel
canisters.
The fuel depot.
Thing.
Yeah. And, Governor Price had a bright idea.
Yeah. We can take down Kanan if we shoot down all the fuel depot thing.
Yeah.
And basically, get rid of all the fuel, but we take them down.
Yeah.
Like all of them. And what happens is that Kanan sacrifices himself.
Yeah, he uses the Force to hold back the...
the fire.
Yeah.
And basically, this happened as soon as basically Hera told him, I love you.
Yeah.
So
of course.
Yeah. At least they kissed before something happened.
They obviously have to do more than just kiss because of what happens at the end of the...
They fuck.
Yeah, I think that they were probably having a little thing throughout the series because she does say my dear, my love a few times. There's obviously some sort of romance between the two.
My baby boo.
But I think it's the first time near the end that she's actually willing to, tell each other how they feel,
Yep.
But obviously there's some sexual stuff going on, but it's kids' show, so they can't really...
So, yeah. You see it at the very end.
Yeah. So, Rip Kanan, he's one... I'm guessing he's one with the Force, so...
Yep. So, yep.
Yeah.
Poor X on Kanan.
But, so, they launch a desperate attempt to liberate Lothal by tricking Governor Price while Thrawn's away. Mm-hmm. And because Thrawn's already pissed off at Price over the destruction of the fuel depot.
Yeah, because he fought, they got rid of Kanan, but, it shut down his TIE Defender idea.
Yep, because without the fuel, the factories won't operate.
Yeah, and that is a huge L, because it not only does it shut down that, but it obviously fucks anything over, like TIE fighters or interceptors or anything that needs fuel.
Yep.
Or, resupplying there.
Yeah.
So, even though they blew up, they killed Kanan, it came at a super massive cost.
Yeah.
Which basically fucked everybody up. Yeah. At least in the Empire side.
Yeah. Plus, sometime after this, they managed to destroy the portal. Well, most of the World Between Worlds portal gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Except for, I guess, something that was salvaged that ends up on Thrawn's ship. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So, they go to this dome, the dome base where the governor is. They manage to con their way in with Callous'S help and Rex's help and Gregor and Wolf's help and some others. Oh yeah, Hondo is also there, and there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, basically the whole cast, kind of.
Yeah, and some supporting crew members. They con all the Imperials to going back inside the dome, inside Lothal's capital. It can blast off into space. After they tricked Governor Price.
Yeah, Mr. Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he made her think that he was turning
on the rebels.
Yeah, when it was just it was a trap.
Yeah, to get her to come out.
Yeah, but I know this is confusing. Anyways, long story short, there's a final battle between Ezra and the Emperor.
Thrawn.
Well, the Emperor first.
Oh yeah.
A projection of the Emperor.
A projection.
Because the Emperor wants Ezra to touch this thing, and be with his mom and dad again. I don't know. I guess it was a trick in order to help the Emperor with the portal or some shit. They never really... A lot of people think debate that. Like, what exactly was the Emperor wanting Ezra to do?
Yeah.
But this is where the Emperor's trying to make Ezra think that he's just a nice old man when he's not.
No, it was just fake.
Yeah.
So he lets them go. He lets his parents go.
Yeah.
And just decides to close the portal and run.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, the Emperor gets pissed and he sends his free red guards.
Yeah, and stormtroopers.
And basically, Ezra gets one with the Force and fucks him up.
Yeah. But Ezra's already lost his lightsaber, so he doesn't have his lightsaber. He left it back at that dome base with Sabine.
Yep. And then after that, basically, Sabine and all the other ones in the gang are taking control of the dome.
Yeah.
And Ezra basically goes after Thrawn.
Yeah.
Because I think, Ezra gets captured by Thrawn.
Yeah, and then Thrawn takes him to the Emperor.
Right.
Where, well, a projection, a hologram of the Emperor.
But after that, then Ezra goes after Thrawn again.
On the bridge of his ship. Yeah.
Which I guess that's where he was all this time.
Where?
In the ship itself,
yeah.
Ezra.
Yeah.
Because then he goes after the ship. So.
What are you talking about? No, he was inside the ship.
So like the whole projection thing was inside the ship.
Yeah, the projection of the Emperor and the thing that they managed to salvage.
That's inside the ship.
That's inside the Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then after that, like he basically goes after Thrawn and he traps in there with the Purgle that show up.
Yeah, the Purgle show up.
Because it was like Doctor Strange where it's like a bunch of visions and he chose this one.
Something like that. Well, the Purgle was introduced the previous season.
Season 2.
Space Wells, which had the ability to...
Hyperspace.
Yeah. And the Purgle make a return in Ahsoka, so...
Yeah. Have we seen them?
Yeah. We've seen them.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Anyways, so it ends with the help of the Purgle, Ezra is able to destroy the Imperial fleet blockading Lothal and take Thrawn's ship, along with Thrawn, Ezra, and everybody else aboard Thrawn's flagship.
Yeah.
And hyperspace them away to the galaxy that they're currently in.
Which we don't know at the moment.
Which is...
Until Ahsoka reveals it later.
Yeah, the Ahsoka story right now is what that's kind of about. Because Ahsoka is basically a sequel to this. And so after all that, there's a time jump, and then we see a similar scene. Well, where Sabine's voicing everything, she's talking about what happened to everybody.
Yeah, she's narrating everything.
Yeah, how Zeb and Callus go and check out the rest of the Lasat.
Yeah, and Sabine is there in Lothal.
Yeah, well, Hera's flying around. She's still fighting with the rebellion along with Rex, and how they both fought in Andor. So, and Sabine had Jason Syndulla.
Oh yeah, and Hera has she's mom now.
That's what I just said.
Oh, you did?
Jason Syndulla.
Oh, I always forget his name.
His name's Jason.
Jason.
So yeah, green-haired
human.
Yeah, which should look more like half Twi'lek, but okay. Anyways, Hera, Jason both return along with Chopper and Sabine and Ahsoka. And, of course, Ahsoka returns, obviously, in her own show, and so does an older Sabine.
There you go. She looks like Diva.
Yeah. With the really, really short hair at the end of...
yeah.
I like her hairstyle in the live action better.
You do?
Yeah.
I prefer this.
Well, I mean, like in the poster, yeah, I like that hairstyle. Better than the really short hair she has at the end of the series.
Oh, no, I don't like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my least favorite. But what she has in the live action when she cuts her long hair short is better than that.
Right.
Because at least there's some hair up there.
Right.
But anyways, that's pretty much it for Rebels, I guess.
Yeah, the ending was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. And it opened the door for, obviously, Thrawn's return, which is what I think they're planning on doing with Mandalorian and Rebels.
I wonder what they're going to show in Ahsoka with Ezra.
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out because, we already did a review of the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. We're going to review the rest of the season of Ahsoka whenever all the other episodes are out.
All right.
So feel free to go check out that. I'll link that below in the description section if anyone is still here and curious.
I guess the question is, like, how old is Thrawn and how old is Ezra after this event?
Well, what happens at the end? Well, before the time jump, 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years later?
Yeah, I think that's the amount of time that, like, from New Hope to the end of Return of the Jedi. I think it's like a 4 or 5 year period. If I'm not, I think that's right.
And at the end of Ahsoka, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if because it's really confusing right now. Where exactly does Ahsoka start? Because it's like it starts sometime after season 2 of Mandalorian, but then before season 3 of Mandalorian, because there's like a 3-year time jump
right there. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a 3-year time jump because Grogu spends time. I know this is never mind.
It's like timeline stuff.
Yeah, it's timey-wimey and some spoilery stuff.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, I think that's all we gotta say about Rebels. It was a better show than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It's still not my favorite. I still put Clone Wars above it. Easily.
Yeah.
And also, I did like an episode between the surviving like Rex and some battle droids and.
That was fun.
And Ezra basically makes Rex and the commanding droid realize that they were both nothing more than pawns.
Mm-hmm.
They fought for 2 different sides.
Yeah.
That destroyed each other just so the Empire could rise up and take their place.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and this is also the episode where they get the Phantom Mark too.
Oh yeah, because the first Phantom gets destroyed.
I think they got destroyed in the mission where they were trying to get the Y-Wings.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, where it just sank down. It was like Ezra's first mission.
Yeah.
As a commander.
Yeah.
He got promoted and he lost to Phantom, but he got another one later. So
yeah, it was a Separatist shuttle that ends up becoming the new Phantom,
Yeah. I still prefer the old one. It looked way better.
It's okay.
It's a cosmetic thing though.
True. But overall, I also like the music that was in Rebels because they used a lot of themes from the original trilogy.
Something that you liked about the music is like at the very end of that droid episode, they put the Clone Wars theme and you were like so happy about it.
Oh, yeah, that one. That was cool. And they even changed the Rebels logo to kind of like a hybrid of Rebels and Clone Wars combined.
Yeah, you love that.
That was cool. That was a nice homage to the Clone Wars.
I still think my favorite logo has to be that white one.
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels all white and with ash and everything.
Yeah, after Kanan sacrifices himself.
It looks so good.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's definitely a lot of really good moments in Rebels. There were some silly moments. There were moments where Ezra could have used the Force more, but he didn't for reasons.
Yeah, there were times where we were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you have the Force. You could just use the Force to lift that thing and carry it.
Yeah.
But... there were times when I felt like they were too sparing, but you have to also realize it was on Disney XD when it aired, and they probably had to scale back the violence.
Yeah, it's like, for example, that one time with Sabine and Seth where they look Rook lift.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, kill him, he's right there.
Well, Rook should have been killed numerous times, but he finally gets killed at the end, allegedly.
Yeah.
I would say that it's alluded to that Rook finally gets killed.
We hope.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's 2 or 3 times where several characters should have been killed, like Rook. But they let him live. Because kids show.
Because kids show.
Well, it's just like, the old Transformers, where the Decepticons always escaped. Even when Optimus and the Autobots could have just destroyed them.
I guess.
And, anytime, Skeletor would escape. When he could have been destroyed by He-Man.
I guess.
Some of the other kid shows, because they have to keep the antagonist around to fight another day. And,
for next episode.
Yeah, and if they kill the antagonist right now, well, guess what?
No more.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, we do appreciate those of you that did watch our long-winded review of Star Wars Rebels. I know it went on longer than we thought it was going to go on, but it was fun.
Yep.
And if you're interested, be sure and check out the Star Wars playlist for more of, our and my Star Wars reviews. I've reviewed all 9 Star Wars movies. Well, the original, the prequel trilogy, original trilogy, sequel trilogy.
I wasn't there.
I know. You were there for an episode of Obi-Wan, though.
Yeah, there you go.
And you also reviewed Season 3 Mandalorian with me.
Yeah.
And I also did Tales of the Jedi. I did Andor Season 1 review. I did final season of Clone Wars. And
I think most of
the
new shows, you've done.
Yeah. And we just recently did, a few weeks ago, we did the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Linked below in the description section.
Yep. And the next, I think, next time we talk about Star Wars should be the last episode of Ahsoka.
Yeah, it'll be sometime early October.
Yeah, GB's going to probably do it because I'm not going to be here.
Well, yeah, you'll be in Puerto Rico. Maybe what we'll do is I'll just have you record your quick thoughts and I'll just put it in the video.
Right. We'll see what we do. If not, GB can do it alone.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. Anyways,
your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding Rebels as a series. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? What were some of your favorite characters, least favorite characters, favorite moments, and how would you rank it to some of the other shows in the Star Wars universe?
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye-bye.